Hey everyone, Jamie Makes here from Miss Paper, and today I'm sharing a process video for the first few pages in my Everyday Explorers Co. Mini Book Makers Club kit number 7, which is themed me from A to Z.
So here is the Mini Book Makers Club kit number 7, the Me from A to Z kit. And what comes with it is the stamp set, this awesome little postcard, the notebook, and I'm so excited about the format on this one. I just think it's super fun and really excited to get to playing with this one. There are 2 pages of die cuts that you can cut out, trim out. I'm going to be doing that pretty quickly because I learned from the last time that if I don't cut them down at the beginning, I probably won't use them. And then there are the letter stickers that coordinate. So it's the alphabet in both white and black, and the inserts are created in such a way that you can put this sticker right in this or this spot, or you can do whatever you want with them. But it's nice that there's like some guidelines here where you can start playing with, and then if you so choose, to play outside of the boxes as well. This is everything that you get when you purchase or subscribe to the Mini Book Makers Club kit, specifically the number 7 one. So I decided to use this as the first photo that I'm going to add into my notebook. I'm thinking I'm gonna add the postcard here first, somewhere in the stack. And then on this page is where I'll start. I'm not planning to do a 26 of these. I'm just kind of planning, I think what I really want to do is probably 13 to put maybe like a large photo on this side or this side, and then do my journaling and all of my embellishing over here. But this is the first photo that I'm planning to use. And I actually decided to use this photo because of the stamp set. I really liked the This Is Me in a Nutshell stamp. And I was just trying to think of, okay, well, what does that mean to me? And to me, it's scrapbooking, books, animals, travel. And so I remembered that I had done this as an assignment for one of my graphic design classes, specifically for my Photoshop class. And so I'd already had this kind of created, and it's a little bit artsy, and I just thought it'd be really fun to use that photo for This Is Me in a Nutshell, because it really does describe that. And so from then the photo, I pulled the various stamp ink that I'm planning to use. So Distress Oxide in Mustard Seed and Mowed Lawn, Studio Calico's Color Theory in Well Red and Something Blue, and then Pink Fresh's Raspberry Bliss and Candy Violet. For any black ink stamping, I will use this Ranger Archival ink in Jet Black. And then I have my acrylic blocks, and also my date stamp, just in case I decide that I want to use that. And this is all just kind of for the base. I haven't really pulled any embellishments in other than what's included in the kit, so I may add a few things here and there, but that's usually the last step in the process for me. And then the other stamp set that I know that I'm going to use is this Mixed Marks by Felicitas. This came out in September, and I just really loved all of these kind of organic shapes that I can use to incorporate in this notebook that is pretty linear, right? It's very straight and gridded, and I kind of want to break that up by incorporating some organic shapes. Also, when I'm working on these little notebooks, I really like to create continuity throughout. And one of the ways that I found to do that is to incorporate, the use of a stamp over and over again across the pages. And so I think this is kind of the perfect stamp set to utilize to get some continuity. So maybe I'll use this specific stamp set, this specific stamp from the set, and stamp it in a bunch of places throughout the book and the variety of colors throughout the book, and that kind of just adds the continuity in. So along with the colors that I'm planning to utilize throughout this specific little journal, it's also going to be the stamp set as well. And in addition, you know, the various items that are included in the kit. But I just like being able to add some sort of organic element that's going to go through all of the pages. So let's get started.
The first thing I did was trim out those cut apart sheets because otherwise I will not use them. So I'd like to get this done really early on in the process. I trimmed those all out and then I trimmed down the 4x6 postcard that comes in the kit. I wanted there to be a bit of a white border around it when I adhere it into the first page of this little notebook. And so I just continue to trim until I have a good border that is consistent throughout. And I decide that at this point, I'm going to test some of my inks just to see how much they're going to bleed through onto the back side of the pages. Um, I did this with the Distress Oxides and my Color Theory and Pink Fresh pigment ink stamps. I stamped them initially and then I did a one-off stamp just to see how much of a bleed through I was going to have. And it's actually not too bad. It doesn't bother me. And this is a pretty bold stamp, so you're going to see it more clearly, but with some of the thinner lines of the stamps, it won't be as bad. The next thing that I want to do is add some stamps just along the outside borders. Again, I'm adhering that postcard over this, so you won't be able to see any of the me's that I stamp in the middle. You'll just be able to see what's on the edge, and I really like that look of a bold graphic black and white in the center and just pops of color around the outside. I'm using Felicitas Mark Maker's kit and stamping it just around on the edges using the variety of inks that I have pulled, and playing around with just two stamps from that set. I really liked that one kind of line squiggle that looks somewhat like a flower to me, and then also these organic rectangles, I would say. I really like the two of those combined. And I'm trying to balance the shapes as well as the colors around the edges there. I want to make sure there's at least two instances where the colors come together. And then I'm filling out the front of the journal, the front of the little notebook with the day that I started the album, my signature, and then a word to describe me, which I chose as thoughtful, meaning that I am full of thoughts. And the title page is done. So I get to work on the first spread that I have in mind. Again, I'm deciding to start with basically kind of an overview of what makes up me. So I'm going to use the letter J for Jamie here, adhering that down, and then I'll do some stamping to add more color to that journaling side of the page. But I stuck the I stuck the sticker down a little too soon. I want to layer it in such a way that it looks like the stamp is behind the sticker, which it is. And so I peeled the sticker up to get that on there. I'm also going to stamp the stamp that inspired the whole, this initial spread, which says, "This is me in a nutshell." I really liked it. But when I stamped it, I didn't really give it enough time to dry, so I ended up smearing it, unfortunately. But that's okay. I ended up being able to use more from the kit, one of these die cuts from the cut apart sheet, to incorporate on the spread. And I just simply stamped "This is me" on it over again, and I will adhere it over top, and you will no longer be able to see the boo-boo that I made. One thing I did was pull different colors of washi, 6 rolls of washi tape that coordinated with the colors that I was using for the ink, my stamp ink, and I really just thought it would be fun to include some washi into this project. I like that it's flat, it won't add any bulk to my pages, and it just adds some nice texture and color to the spreads. The last bit that I do for this particular spread is stamp out A to Z. I stamped it just on white cardstock, and I'm going to be fussy cutting it out to add to the bottom of my layout. I say layout, but it's a layout, but it's a pretty tiny layout. I guess when I think layout, I think 12 by 12, but these are absolutely layouts just as well. And I use my tweezers to correctly position this. All scrapbooking stops if I cannot find those tweezers because I use them all the time. And the last bit I do is add the date for when I journaled all of this. And it's complete except for that I needed to add the label to the side and I end up handwriting my journaling. But this Mini Bookmakers Club kit is now available as of October 12th in the Everyday Explorers Co. shop. I have a link to it down in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and consider subscribing to this channel for more videos. I so appreciate you watching. Jamie Makes, signing off.